Happy Veterans Day, November 11th. I'm John Zidar, and this is On Top and Hot. This is brought to you by Pennybois. They bring you those PB alerts that everybody likes, but you really, honestly need to check out PBU, Pennybois University. They've got some serious training so that you can make some serious money. Now, what I do here every day is DD, due diligence and research on the OTC market and penny stocks, wherever they may be. And today I have found some stocks that ended hard, ran hard, and look like they've got potential for tomorrow. So let's jump right into this and I'll show you what I found. Now we're going to start off all this research and due diligence over here on the OTCmarkets.com. I come here first because this is the only site online where FINRA and the SEC put all of the information for OTC stocks. Why go running around Google when this was a site set up just for that? So, first thing we're going to take a look at is how the OTC market fared today. We did $2.7 billion worth of business. Yesterday we did $3 billion. We have been coming up. I've got to say that we've been stuck at 2.1 for a very long time. So it's nice to see that coming up. But in exchange, our share volume fell. We were up at 50 billion at the beginning of the year. We fell down to the low 30s, and now we're down to 20 billion shares, even though we're making more money. And we're doing about 450,000 trades a day, which is telling me, since we have less shares but more money, that more expensive OTC stocks are being bought, not a lot of the sub-penny stocks. All right, first thing we're going to look at is AMFL, American Films Incorporated. They finished the day today at $2.24 with 348% gains. Tore it up, folks. Now, this is a pink limited information company. That means they're late on their filings. If we go take a look at it right now, we can see that they have been filing. Here's an annual report for 2019. Here's an annual report for 2020. Now, all annual reports, since they're not audited, there's no CPA to stamp it with his approval, you have to get an attorney letter behind them. Quarterlies don't need them. The disclosures for quarterlies, but annuals do. So we're waiting for an attorney letter for both 2019 and 2020, and that will put this current, which is going to help a lot. I assure you of that. Now let's see what sort of excitement this company had today. A lot of excitement, folks. We are at 3,000 shares a day average. Now, I got to say that they were in bad shape, and things are just coming out right now, but they did almost 200 times as much volume today, from 3,000 shares to close to 600,000 shares. So there was a lot of excitement today. What's their share count look like? Is it worth looking at? Oh, juicy, huh? We've got less than 5 million. At least that's what they tell us. Now, they say there is unrestricted shares of 16 million. Normally, the unrestricted shares are the float. So it could well be 16 million, which would still be a very nice low float. How about the news? All right, the news is always good to look at because it's kind of like a snapshot of their history. Looking back just to July, we see here that American Films announced that it planned to trade on the T0 ATS. This is a platform where you can trade your stock shares, but your shares have been digitalized. They're not actual shares. I don't know how the heck that works. And before they could actually get on that market, they had to do a 1-in-5 reverse split. Now, I've looked around. I have not seen this split show up yet. You can't hide a split, but I can't see it's happened, so it may still be in the works. They say that they did get their shares on 0 ATS, so sounds like the reverse split happened because it was a condition to get on there. Let me see. David F. Tarmoff to head legal affairs. They changed their CEO. They have elected to bring on a new board chair, so they've got a lot of new personnel. And just here last month, the last week of the month, Wazuzu and American Films announced partnership, pairing blockchain-based asset digitalization with IP value enhancement film production. So what does all that mean? Well, if you jump over here to the news, it's a little easier. First off, let's get a a quick glance of what each of these companies are, because as you can see here, the two companies known for innovations for their respective fields today announced a partnership leveraging the blockchain-based asset digitalization technology and financial markets expertise of Wazoo Inc. to boost the impact and the value of the intellectual property platform and film production work of American Films. You come down here, American Films is an innovative company that owns, develops, acquires, and protects intellectual property in the creative media spaces. Intellectual property is an easy thing to make tokens and NFTs out of because they're not physical. They're ideas, they're concepts. So to put an NFT out there, which is a crypto coin, but it's uniquely different than every other coin. One Bitcoin is like the other Bitcoin. You couldn't tell them apart if you looked at them. But every NFT is like a piece of artwork. Every piece is unique and every piece is numbered and every piece has its own value. And they're considered collectibles. So they're not just sold on the market, they're auctioned on the market. And they're doing about $2 billion a week right now, NFTs. It's going crazy. Let's see here. Relying on proprietary technology, litigation, asset digitalization, America Film supports the creative process and protects intellectual property in the film and music industry. On the other hand, Wazoo Inc. is an end-to-end blockchain-based asset digitalization platform that builds value for its customers and their stakeholders, bringing an extensive experience into the capital market. So we have two companies here that are both good at what they do. Now it says here, through the partnership, Wazoo plans to provide asset digitalization, consulting, and technology services to American Films as the company accelerates its efforts to enhance the value of both third-party owned IP as well as its film project portfolio. American Films has plans to issue security offerings, those are STOs, backed by various IP, intellectual property portfolios, litigation financing opportunities, and film projects. In addition, the company will employ a comprehensive NFT strategy around all of its prospective film projects. Folks, you can make an NFT on anything that's popular, whether it be a celebrity, a song, a piece of art, a concept, an idea. I mean, a smiley face could become an NFT and sell for $1 million. It's just that easy. So that is what has got this stock moving. Now understand that the news itself is old, right? As you can see here, it's a week old. But the news today about the new board chair is fresh. That came out yesterday, and then you had one a week before that. So why it's actually taking off today, it's building up momentum. This company, as you can see, was not making any money. Let's bring that up. They've absolutely been doing nothing, right? Well, when you come over here to their disclosures, they purposely put this out. Right there, an update to shell status. All right, let's see what that says. On behalf of American Films, Inc., we are pleased to eliminate our shell designation. January 3, 2020 is the date we were no longer classified as a shell corporation. Though they weren't making any money, you can't see anything on the books. There's probably a little bit there that doesn't qualify for OTC. But they are no longer a shell company. In 2021, we began our effort in Brazil as well. 2 individuals are being hired to offer services in Brazil under public-private partnership. We expect to establish a Brazilian corporate entity, sign an office lease, engage legal representation, as well as hire a marketing company for our anti-piracy services offerings in Brazil before October is done. Well, they didn't quite make that, did they? But we expect to expand our employment. So I'm not quite sure why that got put out. Let me see. It says August 31st here, and they're talking about October here. But that was released. Okay, it was released in September, October. So they're a little late there maybe. But in either case, they are moving forward. And the chart shows between the volume of being 200% higher today, not 200%, 200 times. 200% is only double. This is 20,000%. That's how much the volume went up today. So let's go take a look at that chart and let me impress you. So this chart is on TOS, that's Thinkorswim. It's a free trading platform anybody can get. Just sign up with TD Ameritrade. You don't actually have to trade with them, just keep the account open and you can use this for everything I do and a heck of a lot more. All right, I've got a short list over here of the stocks I plan on hitting up tonight. We are looking at them right now. American Films is the one we're looking at first. Let's get that in order so we don't get confused. All right, up there at the top. And there is the chart. All right, let's back up just so we have a feel for it here. This is our 6-month, 4-hour chart. She was flat as could be until probably July. That is the middle of June. The middle of June, she started the move. That there was some hint going on. July is when they actually started the news presses about what they were getting involved in. And it's pretty much just gone flat. You know, all through here, there's just not a lot of activity. It even got sad here. There was a dip. Maybe people just got tired of waiting. And it really got flat through here. Let's come back to that 5-day, 5-minute, because this is where all the action took off. You can see there was hardly any volume, just dashes. There was no negotiations, no auctions, just somebody buying it and sitting down. And then, boom, actually that is today. So this news came out today about the board, and that's the only news we had that came out today, but it was at 11:40. 11:40 in the, no, as a matter of fact, that's 12:40. 12:40 in the afternoon, it decided to take off, and it hit all the way up here to $2.50, and it started the day at 74 cents. So there's your 300% right there. And actually, it's more than 300% because it finished the day right there, and that is constituted as 348%. So up there, oh, well, yeah, it's another 25 cents for goodness sake. So that would have been close to 375, 380% at its high today. And it held most of it, folks. Come on. I think this has room to carry on. Now let's look at that. We can see that she's above the 50 SMA. That's very strong. The 10 is about to cross over the 20. It finished the day with the price pushing up. The MACD looks as though it is about ready to cross over, but no guarantees there. The RSI is at 57. Let's break that down to the minute so we can get a real feel here. All right, so for 1, 2, 3, 4, so that whole last 5 minutes, it was pushing up. We already had the crossover down here. We can see that the MACD is touching the signal line and crossed over, and the RSI is high on the minute. It did break. There is the 50-day SMA. It did break that 50, which is a scary thing, but it has jumped back up, and it is right underneath that support. It needs to get on top of this support. So this is a company that is just breaking into making revenues. They've got a deal on the table now with another company. More things are bound to happen, and there's a lot of excitement building up, obviously, because there was not any real change of news, any material change to the company today. All they said is they got a new chair board. Now, maybe that guy's something special. Maybe he's got some special qualifications or education that's really going to help this company. Or maybe he's just got a track record of turning companies around. I don't know. But this is what happens when a company's about to go current, has just merged with another company, basically. The two have gotten together, and they have a business to launch, and they're getting it going. So this is a possible runner tomorrow, and I don't mean a runner as in it's going to take off, but it could do just what it's doing today. This was a lot of volume, 200 times. The volume started strong. Now, I want to back this out. Let's back this out to 20 days. All right, you can see that volume. It stands out. The volume is, it's right in your face, and there's hardly any volume here. We actually have to look for it to see it there. So I would anticipate, even though the volume fell down today, it's still worth watching. And even if not for tomorrow, put this on your list, because American Films is coming out of the shadows. They're about ready to make money. They're about ready to go into business. So they're going to be putting out PRs. And I expect there to maybe be a dip, but I expect this to continue to climb. Now, this next stock we're going to take a look at, we did look at just a couple of days ago, and I hope you were paying attention because it had some strong gains today. This is WSGF World Series of Golf. Their current price is 0.017. They're just under 2 cents. They did 32% gains today. They are on the pink tier, are current, in good standings, and they've got all their tick boxes here: verified profile and a transfer agent. Now, there's a lot of changes going on with this company, and there's a lot of excitement. You can see here by the relative volume, they normally do about 11 million shares. Today they did 50 million shares. So we're between 4 and 5 times as many shares as normal. Not as much as 200, but definitely an increase from what has normally been occurring. What's their share count? Share count isn't anything to brag about. They got 730 million in the shares. And their financials. Right now their financials are nothing. They don't have anything really kicking out here. You can see that. Disclosures. They have had all their disclosures coming out. You can see they're pink. Is there any 8Ks or anything like that to give us some insight? No, nothing here. So I do believe the news is all we have going for us, and there's a lot of news. Now, I'm not going to run through all of this, folks, but as you can read here, most of what they're dealing with here is vacation properties in all sorts of areas. They are doing everything, including opening up a crypto exchange that, as it says here, to include Visa debit card services. They've got quite a lot of banking services, all wrapped around this rental property. Now, let's just zoom in on one piece of news here so we can focus on what it is they're doing. So this news press tells us that they plan to launch an exchange for real estate-backed cryptocurrencies by year end. So we've got a catalyst here by what? December 31st. It says that World Series of Golf today announced that they have completed their name change to Vacaychella. Vacay as in vacation, to reflect the company's new business direction as a technology company operating in the short-term vacation property rental market. The companies they are working with include Airbnb, VRBO, and Booking.com. Not some small companies by any means. Last year, the company acquired a business in the short-term property rental market named Vacaychella and proceeded to build a software application based on the business model of the acquired business. The company now supports entrepreneurs in financing the acquisition and renovation of short-term vacation rental properties through the person-to-person software application. The name change announced today reflects WSGF's overall shift to focusing on short-term property rental market. Now, there's a lot of information here, and it's all pretty good, actually. They cover a lot of stuff. But in response to a number of shareholder emails asking about details surrounding the name change, no, the name change will not bring on a reverse split or a forward split. So the shares aren't going to change, which is what everybody really wants to know. Now, something I did find interesting, and this came to my email. Now, this is probably somewhere online, but since it was in my email, Investors Hub, that's where you can find this one. It says from today, November 11th, World Series Golf earlier this week announced a name change to Vacaychella, effective in Wyoming, where the company is incorporated. Tomorrow, November 12th, the name change and new ticker symbol will go into effect everywhere the shares of the company are traded. The new ticker for WSGF tomorrow will be VAYK. So remember that if you're looking to invest in this and put in WSGF, they're not into golf anymore. They're into vacay. So look for VAYK if you want to invest in WSGF. All right, let's go take a look at that chart and see what we got going on over there. So looking at WSGF on a 6-month 4-hour, which will be VAYK, remember that. It's had a big fall, started at a high back here 6 months ago at just about 7 cents, and it's just about 2 cents now. Had a lot of volume back here and got thin through here. And the last month was really thin, which is where our relative volume came from. So that was probably a low number. It's had some big bounces, and I'm willing to bet this bounce came from a cryptocurrency news. We're not going to go look. You can if you want. This started to bounce on April 30th, and it bounced all the way up until 2 weeks, May 18th. All right, let's come in on that 5-day, 5-minute and see what she looks like. All right, back here on Friday, she hit a low bubble. And from that low bubble, she did bounce up across the 200. And she ended the day higher. That low bubble got her out of that flat realm that she was sitting in. She then continued to grow on Monday, took a huge jump on Tuesday. Not an easy one. There were some big bounces in here, but you can see it sat on this 20. It didn't come below that 20. Look for the SMA that takes control of the price, and that is an easy way to follow a trend. So it did ride that 20 all the way up, and then after market, pre-market, it fell. Not much we could do about that. On the OTC, we can't get involved. At least I can't on TOS. Maybe you can. And she tried to recover yesterday, but she lost, and it looked pretty pathetic until today. Without any real new news, it jumped again, took a good high, went sideways, and what line is she sitting on right there? She came down past her 20, and it is the 50. She bounced off that 50 and came back up, and she looks to be testing that 50 again. The yellow line is the 50. That's 50 days of data. And she rode above that, came down. She did break through it barely and bounced off. And now it looks like she's coming down. So we're going to see if the 50 has control of this price. The MACD is turning down on the 5-minute. There was a drop here, and it had nothing to do with the high. And the RSI is below 60. So this could take another dip tomorrow. Absolutely could. But I expect this thing to be a little volatile. You see the bounces we get on this. I think that's the sort of thing you need to expect with this stock. I expect that it may do something like this tomorrow. Drop in the morning, bounce up, and I don't know. I really don't know. It's hard to tell, but the trend looks good. The news is good. The potential is good for what's going on here between all the cryptocurrency, real estate, vacationing. It's a market ready to boom after we've been locked up with this silly COVID for so long. We're still not out and about. And maybe the winter's a good time to start it off. Get from the north down to the south, eh? So keep your eye on this one. WSGF changing their ticker to VAYK, VAK. And I think this one is going to show some positive growth over the long haul. The next OTC company that we are looking at is Star 8 Core, ticker STRH. They finished today with just about 28% gains, just under a nickel at 0.044. They are on the pink, they are current, but I don't see any other information here. No transfer agent, no verified profile, but I don't see any warnings either. So what was the relative volume of this company today? Well, it was strong. They normally do about 500,000. Today they did 5 times as many, 2.5 million. I mean, it's not a tremendous number, but we're looking for relative volume. All of a sudden something's changed. You may want to see why. What is their share structure? Hopefully we got a small one. That's not bad. 60 million shares. They say they got, now that was a few months ago. They say they have 18 million right now. Okay, it could be as low as 18 million. It is possible, but I think it's safer just to presume there's 60 million, which isn't bad at all. What else we got going on over here? How are her financials? Well, they haven't had money in a very long time, not at all. And their disclosures? Well, I don't see anything new here except their latest quarterly report right here, which I did take the time to read, and it's a good thing I did because I found information. And if you just scroll down, you can see they headline each section, so it's not hard to find. It seems a little overwhelming, but it's a very simple form. I'm coming down to page 6 where it says what their business, products, and their services are. Really easy. It's better than reading an article. And this is what I found. And this is important because I was over on Twitter trying to get information and they're not aware of this. And you're going to be aware of it right now. STARS has merged with TempuCheck as of February 8th, 2021. There was news that they've been working with TempuCheck and that they're moving their products. But there was never any news that says we've merged with them. So when you go over onto Twitter, they are still talking about this imminent merge that's about to happen. It's already happened. TempuCheck is a brand that's gaining momentum in 2020 with the sudden crisis of COVID-19, shifting the focus not just on security, but leveraging years of expertise in technology. TempuCheck has now shifted its focus to protecting businesses and their customers and to adjust to the new norm dealing with COVID-19. TempuCheck's automated temperature screening kiosk and future products are all geared to make the process of getting back to business as usual and safe as it used to be. Now this is what it's all about right here. Let me get you a nice picture. There you go, a kiosk. And they have a company called High Tie, I believe it is. I'll show you the news, that is promoting this. They are a business that helps other businesses set up, and they are promoting this product to all of their customers. I'll show you that news right here. Come back over to the news. And they also had a piece of news here recently that is a little different than what I expected. Right there, TempuCheck continues strategic distribution partnership with High Touch Business Services. And this, like I said, they are an end-to-end business solution for their clients. And this is one of the products that they offer all of their different clients. Now, the last piece of news, which I find a little bit interesting, this came out the last week of last month. STRH Corp announces acquisition of Rari Nutrition, a health and wellness e-commerce company. This is a subsidiary now of theirs, and they are a supplier of 100% natural sports nutrition products and healthy foods. So they've got this company as well. So along with their high volume and decent float, they've actually got some new business going on. And when you look at their financials and see that they haven't had anything in years, it's quite exciting. So let's go check out that chart for them. STRH 6-month 4-hour chart. Wow, she had a huge giant jump here from 0.004 all the way up here to 11 cents. That's like 2,200% gains roughly. Wow. Now that took a while to do. That went from the first day of March to the middle of May. So you had a month and a half there of being patient and letting that grow. Patience pays well, very well. She lost a lot here and it's gotten quite erratic. And she is down here very low considering that she has been definitely about right up here as her norm, which that takes it to 5.5 cents, and she's down at 4 cents right now. All right, let's come in on that 5-day, 5 minutes so we can see what she's been doing. Yesterday, she did not much at all. That was a very bad day, and the day before wasn't great. She did start low, but she picked up her momentum. But you can see for days she has been falling. She hit a low bubble here. Now let's go back 20 days. Let's just get a feel here. Wow. Well, you can see these bounces. For goodness sake, lots of these bounces, right? From 3.5 cents to 5 cents. So you're talking 50%, folks. Every one of these is 50% jump in 1 hour. We're on an hour chart. So you can see how often she goes from here to there. 50% over and over again. A lot of 40% bubbles in there. And right now, these are all pretty small, actually. All right, let's come back in on that 5-minute, 5-day chart. So today, she started off at, she opened at 3.5 cents and went to 4.75 cents. So you got more than 50% right there. Let's see, it says she ended at 27 because she fell. She sure did. She is riding up nicely on the 10. She's not even getting close to the 20 or the 50, which is really nice. You like to find a light line, one that floats up there. The 10 floats at the top, the 20's underneath, 50 down here, and the 200 should be way down here at the bottom, the big heavy one. And this is going up nicely. It hit its high, pulled back, but now it's dipped. It's hit that 20, which it hasn't really done since the beginning of the day. Let's come in on the 1 minute so we can get a closer analysis of this. All right, she went sideways for 3 full minutes without doing anything, no volume. So it became undecided here. You can see she goes through these periods very light. The MACD is falling. The RSI is falling on the minute. Let's look at the 5 minutes, see what those look like. Again, they are still falling. All right, I want to come back again to that 1 month chart. All right, let me squeeze this down so it makes a little more sense for us. All right, we see the 200 here. This is on the 1 hour. Lots of people look at the 1 hour. Now, what's important, folks, is to use the same sort of tools that everybody else is using. A 200, a 20-day, a 10 or a 9-day. You don't want to be using tools that no one else uses. Why? Because it's like a street light. If we all are looking at the same street light, when it changes, we all do the same thing. So when we see a stock go above the 200 and then push just a little bit, most of us understand that's a green light, and a lot of us buy. But if you're looking at strange things and you're not using what everybody else is using, you don't see the light change at the same time we do. So you miss that movement. All right, let's come back in on that then, because it is sitting right there. It fell below it. We need to watch this. We need to watch that on the 1 hour. You can't see it on a 1 minute. You can't see it on a 5 minute. Sometimes you have to back out to see how the days are going. And you can see she rides on that. She doesn't rarely ever come over that 200 and do anything. So I wouldn't expect this to do anything unless it breaks. Let's see. Well, there's your normal high and there's your high. Well, that's your high. So it has to get above these before we can consider that it's actually going to start doing any serious climbing and break its trench that it's been sitting in here for quite a long time. But the company's got everything set up, right? They've got things going right now. They have TempuCheck. They have a new health food sort of thing going on. And they have no money right now. So everything that's happening should get this company moving. So I would put this on your list. If it breaks 5 to 5.5, 5 to 5.5 cents, if it breaks this and comes above this, that's when I would consider this to be a stock to invest in, or at least play one of those big 50% bounces. Now the next stock we're pouncing on to is MJWL. This is Magic Wheels Core. They finished the day at just over 15 cents with just over 15% gains. Not a lot. They are pink current. They got their green ticks over there, but they say they're a shell risk. If we look at the financials, yeah, they don't have any income coming in right now, which, to be honest, is why I'm here. There's been a lot of changes. Now, what was the relative volume today? Does it show that the changes are exciting? Not really. They do 7.8 million regularly for the last 30 days. Today, they did less than 1 million more. Not a lot of excitement. What is their share structure? Not so great either. 650 million in the float. And I don't believe they have any fresh disclosures to give us any news. No, they don't. So what am I here for? I'm here because of the news. They've had so much news and it is all building on itself, and that is going to change their financial situation. I'm going all the way back here to the news, and I'm going to just go through this real briefly. This is from July 30th. Magic acquires the Calvin Global Crypto Exchange. Says here that they completed the closing of Calvin Global Crypto Exchange, which they call CGCX, and the acquisition of CGCX valued at $153 million. They do crypto mining, and they are expanding in the crypto mining area. They launched their decentralized blockchain, which was what they were after. They wanted to get a platform out there, and the very first thing that happened is that this IBG tokens were deposited on their site. 45 million of them, a good token sign of trust. Then you've got them going to investment conferences. You got to love investment conferences. This is where you go talk to people who can put money into your company. This is where you stimulate investors. And oftentimes you will see investments come just after they do one of these conferences. There won't be any news, but there will have been a conference. Here's another presentation for CGX. Let me see, they are getting their banking together. Then here, Magic CGCX partners with Publix. Now, Publix is an entirely different type of company. CGCX has signed a strategic partnership agreement with Publix Foundation, an innovative nonprofit organization that mobilizes media, data, and technology for sustainable development and social impact around the world. That is what they do. The next piece of news, let's see here. They acquire another company. Magic signs a letter of intent to acquire a majority interest in Bamboo Wellness. And right here is the information that tells us that Bamboo Blockchain aims to create a holistic healthcare ecosystem that will drive data-driven decision-making models. Supported by artificial intelligence and machine learning, the Bamboo ecosystem aims to drastically bridge the health protection gap and bring insurance to everyone. So they're spreading their wings for sure. The next piece of news that we have is this one here. Magic signs LOI to acquire a majority interest in PCEX cryptocurrency exchange. Now this one, PCEX, is the first crypto broker in India to introduce the business-to-business franchise model in the cryptocurrency market. PCEX has succeeded in creating a network of 250 plus franchises and 40 plus satellite offices in different regions of India. Folks, it's the second most populated place in the world, and they do like to trade in India. So this is big news as far as I'm concerned. And then they had, and this is actually what I'm pushing towards here, they had another investment conference to get investors. But when that was all done, they had a special dinner. And they invited 30 prominent entrepreneurs and innovators, garnering interest for the three organizers. What three organizers? They actually had three companies: Magic Wheel Corp, ICOA, and Public Foundation. Now, I don't know why ICOA was in there. There's no connection between Magic Wheel and ICOA. It's just that they're an innovative company that was at the conference as well. So this is something that happened yesterday, and today the stock took off. And if you look, there is no news today. It came yesterday. Why? Well, they talked to investors yesterday. Today is the day they're investing. So let's go take a look at that chart and see what happened. Interesting chart for MJWL. It's funny too, because this jump here is at the beginning of May, and this one's in the middle of May. Well, there was no news before July. I would actually have to go out on Google because the OTC market didn't hold it. But obviously, this is when some news came out. This was the biggest volume they had. And this started this humongous mountain of climb. They were down here at 001 and ended up here at 26 cents. Folks, I can't even tell you how much that is. I think that's 260,000%. I think that's right. She had a giant fall, broke through the 200, came back and tested it, fell through and was down here for over a month, cracked the 200 again, fell under, and now she's coming over. But the 200 is curving over on the 4-hour, 6-month chart. Let's come into the 5-day. Does it look better? Well, look at that, folks. Look at that. I want to go back 20 days. You can see those 5 days we have been gaining on Magic Wheel. All right, so how far back? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So the 8th day, the low bubble was back here. But let's be honest. That's it right there again. Now, it didn't have an effect here. It kept falling. But see, that's not a real low, is it? It hit down here, but none of the price is down here. So that didn't actually constitute in anybody's eye as a low bubble. But this one did. It's in the same exact spot, and this causes it to move. Boom, 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 boom. And we have been going up ever since we hit the real low bubble right there. We cracked through the 200 on the 1-hour chart and are far above it with all the SMAs in perfect position. 10 on the top, 20 underneath, then the 50, then the 200. And this blue purple one is a whole 200. You don't hear me talk about it too much, but what this does is take all of the prices, all of the SMAs, and it averages them all together. So this is basically a average of a trend. You want to see which direction the stock is probably going to go. You follow the whole 200, and that's a trend line. And everything looks beautiful here. We can see that the volume is increasing. It's getting up and up and up. The MACD is climbing up and up and up. And the RSI doing the same thing, up and up and up. That's right. So that's the 1 hour. Let's come right down to that 5 minute. So we had climbing every single day. And we have a small bounce in the morning. Let me see how big those bounces are, from 10 cents to 11. All right, so you're getting about a 10% bounce. This dipped, but you can see it went under the 200 and shot right back up. Under the 200, shot right back up. There's your telltale sign to follow this. Your buy-in on this would be when it dips down and comes just below that 200. That's your buy, because then it surges up. Comes down under, buy it down here, it surges up. So we could wait for this to dip. However, it looks like it's on a climb right now, doesn't it? Let's take a look at this. The volume is very strong. Really got strong at the end of the day. Boom! Everything looks good. I would watch this for a morning bounce tomorrow. Yes, I would, folks. MJWL looks set up for a morning bounce, and if it isn't a morning bounce, it looks like it just wants to keep going. They've got a lot of fish in the pan. They are frying up a lot of stuff, and I would expect more and more press releases to be coming out. And you can see that this thing loves to jump on press releases. So keep your eye on MJWL. Look for that dip to come down here for your buy price if you're waiting for the lowest price to get in. Good luck. Now the last stock we're looking at tonight, AHFD. This is Active Health Foods. They finished today at 1/5 of a penny, 0.002. They did 10% gains, not real big, but they got a lot brewing, I think. This is Pink Current. They got a transfer agent, and they are a shell company, disclosed to the SEC, so they're not doing anything wrong. They're waiting for something to happen. Ta-da! It's happened. That's right. Let's look at the excitement. Are they happy about this? Well, that's a little depressing there, isn't it? They normally do about 500 million shares a day, and today they did less than half of that. So not a lot of excitement right there. What about their share structure? Is that worthy of getting excited about? Oh, no. 4.2 billion shares. Nothing there at all. And do they have any new filings for us? Well, they actually did. They had an 8K back here just a couple months ago, and it actually correlated to the news I want to show you. Now, this is rather interesting. They only got 3 pieces of news here, but look at this, folks. CoinChamp acquires Active Health Foods. That was on last month, the 11th. 10 days later, Active Foods announces they've acquired CoinChamp. Okay, who's buying who here? You know, when you have a mutual exchange like that, it's normally called a merger when 2 companies come together. So I'm not quite sure why it's been laid out like that. But CoinChamp and Active Health Foods are now one, and they are becoming CoinChamp. Active Health Foods is falling to the wayside. Now, what is CoinChamp? CoinChamp is a game. It's an app that you play to win money. That's right. CoinChamp makes it easy to win cash and discounts from businesses you love. What they do is give you yes or no questions. Whether it's on sports, weather, or markets, there's something that you can make a prediction on. You get to pick the contest, set your notifications for when they come up. You then submit your yes or no questions, and then you get to actually discuss them or defend them. You know, I'm not quite sure what it's all about, but I do know this. You can win money. Cash out your winnings and spend it on whatever you'd like. Cash deposits to your account. Now, I haven't gone into this deep, but everybody loves to play games where you can win money and you don't have to spend money to play. So I anticipate this to be something uniquely, well, profitable, actually. Considering they're making no money right now, this is an easy way to do it. So let's go take a look at that chart and see what it looks like. So here we are looking at AHFD on the 6-month 4-hour. Not a whole lot going on, even with these huge spikes of volume there. I mean, you did have a bump right there, but I mean, it is so isolated, it really doesn't matter. You can see we had a huge jump here, and would you like to guess what that was? That is 10.11. That's right. When CoinChamp said they were buying this company out, this thing rocketed. Rocketed, I tell you. It went from 0009 up to 0069, which is about 700% gains, roughly between 6 and 700. And it took a very fast fall. Sure did. I mean, unbelievable fall. I see this as a buying opportunity. Now, about 50% of that was like here, right? So we are way below the 50%, below the 50 and below the whole average. But we are above the 200, about halfway in there right now, as a matter of fact. So let's come in on that 5-day, 5 minutes, see what she's looking like. She was going sideways, started to fall, hit a low bubble. Now this is right now, so there's not any revenues. There's been no more new news, right? This is all we got, that this company bought this one and this one bought that one. That's really all we got, except that the app is available and things are now starting to move. So today, who knows why, it decided to jump. Let's come in just on today. All right, she bounced and fell first thing in the morning, showing no signs of enthusiasm whatsoever until about noon. And at noon, she took off, and I can't tell you why, but she went from just under 2 to 2.5. So you had about 25% gain right there. She pulled back a little bit, and she's going sideways, and that is above the 50% mark. So she is showing signs of strength. She's above her 50. The 10 has crossed. It does look like she's on a dip right now. But the fact of the matter is, things are just starting. They just got the company together. The app is out, but they haven't really done anything. We're probably going to have to wait until the first quarterly reports and see the financials. But this could be a very, very good entry price to get in. We are looking at 1/5 of a penny. It could fall down here to just about 1/5 of a penny. But folks, you're in a great place right now. As a matter of fact, where is it? It's just under it. Just under it. You might be able to get it down here. It might fall down to the 200. It looks like it's staying above it. If it comes down here, I would snag it, folks. That's just my opinion. I'm not telling you to do anything. Always make your own decisions. But I think this company is going to go somewhere with this little simple app that's going to help people put money in their pockets for playing games. All right, there you go. Some hot ones, folks. These all finished today real strong. They've got good catalyst. They've got good news. There's all sorts of positive things for them. Some of them didn't show the volume we wanted. Some of them don't have the share structure we want. But when a stock moves up, most of that stuff really doesn't matter if you're making a profit, does it? So take a look at those stocks. Put them on your list. Keep an eye on them. I didn't waste my time today. I went out specifically looking for stocks that you'd be interested in. How do I know that? Because I was interested in them. Remember, folks, all this DD, it helps. It builds on itself constantly. The more you add to what you know, the more you're going to grow. See you, folks.